Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into something I think we can all relate to. Turning criticism, that stuff that makes you want to hide,
Yeah,
into something actually useful.
definitely relatable.
Yeah. So we're going to be looking at some excerpts from Turning Criticism into Constructive Conversations.
Sounds good.
I mean, personally, I know when someone starts critiquing me, I kind of just want to, disappear.
Yeah, I think most people feel that way, honestly.
So why is that? Why does criticism hit us so hard?
Well, the thing is, our brains, like way back in the day, they were wired to see any criticism as a threat, you know?
Like a danger.
Yeah, real danger. Think about it. If you were rejected from your group back then, you were kind of on your own, facing like saber-toothed tigers and stuff.
Oh, okay, intense.
Right. So even though, like, today, criticism isn't usually life or death, our nervous system still kind of freaks out like it is.
So it's like a leftover survival thing?
Pretty much. That's why even small criticisms can feel like a huge deal.
So if it's like built into us, how do we, I don't know, get over it and actually learn from criticism?
Well, first you got to realize that it's happening. Just knowing that that defensive feeling is kind of an automatic, primal thing helps us, take a breath before we react.
Okay, awareness.
Exactly. And then that's where reframing comes in. This is like a key point in what we're looking at today.
Reframing, like how we see it.
Exactly. Instead of criticism, what if we thought of it as feedback?
Okay, yeah. A different word.
Right, because criticism sounds like harsh and judgmental, but feedback, it's more like information.
I see. It takes some of the sting out.
Yeah, exactly. It helps us step back and maybe see things a bit more objectively.
Okay, that makes sense. But, like, what if the feedback just feels, I don't know, wrong or mean? How do we reframe that?
Well, even if the delivery is kind of rough, there might still be something useful in there. Like, imagine you're panning for gold.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to go through some dirt.
Exactly. You got to sift through some dirt to find those nuggets. And also, you got to remember, the person giving the feedback, they're not perfect either. Maybe they're not great at communicating, but it doesn't mean their intentions are bad.
True. I know I've definitely given some clumsy feedback in my time.
We all have.
So, okay, let's say we've managed to reframe that criticism. We're thinking of it as feedback. Now what? I mean, the article talks about responding thoughtfully, but how do we not just, like, fly off the handle?
Right. That's where active listening comes in. And this is more than just, hearing the words.
Okay, so more than just like,
Yeah. Exactly. It's about really trying to understand where the other person is coming from.
got it.
A good place to start is by summarizing what you heard. Like, so what you're saying is, and then repeat back what you understood.
Wait, so even if I think the feedback is totally off, I should repeat it back.
It might feel weird, but it shows them you're really trying to get it, and that can really help calm things down. And then, don't be afraid to ask questions to make sure you really understand. This isn't about, like, arguing or defending yourself. It's about getting clarity.
So, like, what do you mean by,
Yeah. Or, can you give me an example?
I can see how that shifts things, yeah.
It turns it into more of a problem-solving conversation.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
So we've reframed, we're listening actively. What about those times when, even if you're trying to be open, the feedback just, like, stings?
Mhm.
The article mentioned expressing appreciation, but how do we do that when we're feeling like anything but appreciative?
It's not about pretending you're happy about the criticism. It's about acknowledging that they took the time to share their thoughts. A simple, thanks for telling me, or I appreciate you pointing this out, can make a big difference.
Even if it feels hard to say in the moment.
Yeah, it can. But often just saying it out loud can help you see the feedback differently, too.
Interesting. So we've reframed, listened, appreciated. Anything else to help turn this into a constructive thing?
Yeah, the article had this really good example of a couple who learned to communicate better. They used to, criticize each other's actions all the time, which just led to fights.
Oh, yeah, I know that routine. It's so easy to fall into, like, blaming each other.
Right. So they learned to shift from blame to, like, expressing their needs and feelings more openly.
Like, instead of, you always leave your dishes everywhere.
Exactly. They'd see something like, hey, when the kitchen's messy, it stresses me out. Can we work together to keep it tidy?
That's a way better approach.
Right. It's about the impact of the behavior, not attacking the person.
And that makes it a conversation you can actually have.
Exactly. It takes practice, but this kind of shift can make a huge difference, not just for couples, but in any relationship.
So, to recap, we can make criticism way more useful by reframing it as feedback, really listening to understand the other person, expressing appreciation, and focusing on needs, not blame.
Absolutely. And remember, this is an ongoing thing. The article even mentions looking into other resources like that couples communication handbook to get even better at this stuff.
Awesome. So, as you go about your day, think about where you could use these techniques. How might changing how you deal with criticism help your relationships and even how you grow as a person?
That's a great question to consider.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive,
It was a pleasure being here.
and we'll catch you next time.